Hello and welcome to this continuing live coding series on creating a website from scratch with Python, Django, and the Wagtail CMS. Today we're going to continue working on the Western Friend website. We're going to add a new app to the site for community events. So basically what we have here on the existing website are kind of this upcoming events area, and basically it's a plain listing. We don't need to get any more elaborate than that for the time being, but we might look at the calendar listing and other things like iCal. So we do want to build a good basis for this. But more or less, the data model it's similar to the Wagtail data model because it's using basically Drupal. Everything has a title, which was something that bothered me for a long time. But Wagtail also does that with the page model. Then we have a date, which is an ISO field type with a pop-up calendar, and a description and a link. These other things, I don't know if they're directly visible to the end user. What that looks like, when you're editing the form, you put the title in, you get a calendar widget, a manual time widget, but it does do some kind of constraining of what you can do, and then a rich text editor here, as well as an event link field. So we'll see how close we can come to this. I have a little bit of concern about how to do these date time fields, but I know the URL field would work, and a rich text field should be fine as well. So reading the Django docs, we have a basic datetime field. Let's go ahead and get this project running real quick. It doesn't know it's a Python app. For some reason it doesn't pick that up right away, maybe because there's no Python in the root. I must have opened the one folder too. Actually open this project folder. It's a little one folder inside the Git repository. And I think VS Code should pick it up that it's a Python project. No? Maybe I should just, there we go. Open a Python file. Alright, so it's got our local environment. If I open the terminal again, it should activate that for me. I don't have to type source activate. Actually, just source in bin activate. It's not too many characters. Alright, basically, I'm thinking this will be its own app, as I mentioned. We have a community app it'll touch, and we have a homepage app that it'll touch. And we're using can't remember Django apps, if they should be plural or singular. I should get my two scoops of Django out. I don't like Quora, it's increasingly spammy. Looks like these are plural. This is a recent answer. Yeah. I can check Django packages to see if there's something for events. So Mezzanine had an event calendar, Django events calendar, simple events. Yeah, we're not using Django CMS. I did take a look at it. Let's see if we can fetch the latest data. Just that this changing the name at a later point is going to be a little bit tricky. All right, cool. Oh, Johnny don't want to go to's. Thanks for the follow. Johnny don't want to go to's. Yep. Welcome to the channel. Let's see. So, do you have any? If anyone for chat has any suggestions of single or plural, I could get my 2 Scoops book real quick. I got 2 scoops of Django best practices for Django 1.6 and 2 scoops for 1.11, but right now I'm reading from 1.6. I think that this plural should be about the same. The convention shouldn't have changed. Django model best practices. Models I think should be singular. Fundamentals of App Design. Golden Rules of App Design. Chapter 4, Section 1, page 30. Just for reference, I'll put this website on the screen. Whoops. Blast. Press. Really good book. Page 30. Very well written. It's fun to read. It's very accessible and humorous. Golden rule of Django app design. The art of creating and maintaining a good Django app is that it should follow the truncated units philosophy. Write programmers that do one thing and do it well. Each app should be tightly focused on its task. Flavors app, events app. Okay, actually, it's very concrete. We call a Django project for our shop's website 2 Scoops project, and the apps within our Django project will be something like flavors, blog, events. If the apps could relate to each other, you could imagine events or blog posts that are centered around a certain ice cream flavors. But it's much better to have 3 specialized apps than 1 app that does everything. Okay, that answers it. Yeah, you can get the ebook also, of course. So, events. I am. There we go. And even in my branch name, I pluralized it. Just wanted to double check. I was following a good convention. I'm not a seasoned Django developer. And I want this project to be really approachable. So let's see what we do here. Class. Let's grab another model to mess up. Whoops, wrong. This one looks good. Contact page. So I need my page from wagtail.core.mouse. I'm just going to type it out. Muscle memory. page. And so what do we got? Title comes with the page model. Just take a glance at that for anybody who's new to Wagtail, which I certainly am, but in case anyone in the stream is unfamiliar. So basically here's the page class we're inheriting. It inherits from abstract page. It's search indexable and clusterable, meaning they can have many-to-many relationships that are, I think that's as much as I understand about clusterable model. So it comes with the title and a draft and a slug and a bunch of other stuff. So drafting process, all sorts of good stuff. Showing menus, which I'll come back to later when I think we're going to create a UI for kind of letting the editor design the menu structure. Welcome, Level Learn 2 for Life. LV Learn 2 for Life. Ads. Oh yeah, I can't control that, I suppose, huh? Can't control if there's ads shown on the site, although I'd prefer not to have them, but oh well. Okay, so what am I doing here? Okay, so we had this description field, I think, and then we'll come back to this datetime field. Let me double check. Let's see how to get the rich text widget. I think we actually have it in this same model, the contact model. No, it's a character field. If I look at the home page model, I believe that has an intro, like a rich text. Collapse this. And I'll start the project also. Talking a little bit quiet, but let me know if you're having troubles hearing me. Alright, so if I look at the home page, log in as my test user, which I think is just Briley. Something. There we go. I edit this page. Wagtail gives us this kind of editing experience for free. I like that. So the intro for the home page, this is what we're after. So let's go to the home model. And basically, it's a rich text field. Alright, there we go. Now we want a field for the date. I think in, so this is Django Drupal convention. Everything starts with like field underscore. The model's name is event, so I don't think that's necessary, so I'll just put date. Now, here's what I'm not exactly sure about. Close a few of these so it doesn't get too confusing. Now basically, if I edit this again, here we go. There's a go live. This is actually exactly what I want. This widget here. And I searched around a little bit in preparation for this stream. I didn't find any kind of documentation or other modules or anything to, or bug reports or anything that would indicate how I should be able to use this, or if it's a common thing that people are turning into contrib modules. So it should be. I mean, it's part of Wagtail core. I'm hoping it just works if I set up a date time field. We will see. I think I don't need to add these. I think they'll default. I don't know if false. But in the Django docs, it says the default form widget is a text field, and that's not going to be cool because I can't expect people to input an ISO formatted date string. Not going to happen. So the last one we need is URL field. Will the see what the 8-ball says about it. Oh, 8-ball didn't answer. My bot must not have connected. Darn it, I think I broke my bot. trying this. Improve the stream a little bit. Phantom bot. Alright, well, I'm not going to fiddle with the bot on live stream. Dagnab. So the URL, let's see, what did I have? A URL field on the community? No, on the contact model, I added a URL field. Just try to do as much copy and paste as I can. Although I should try to aim for muscle memory, so yeah, let's not do it. Null is true, blank is true. And I think we'll also use website. What do we use on the event link? Let's just do website. URL field. I'm not sure how to add any of the meta. I do need to add content panels still, and maybe I should define the meta. So let's go and grab all this. Content panels. Whoa. Default content panels plus an array containing field widgets, which we need to import from Wagtail admin edit handlers field panel. Grab the class meta. And inside the meta, we want to put just the DB table. By default, Django will prefix the database table with the name of the app. So in our case, this would be events app events table. So events underscore events, and that's when I'm not a big fan of that. So class meta DB table. Clean on these migrations. Migrate. So if we come back over here to, I've registered with the admin. But I might be able to add one out. Maybe we'll check. I haven't added any constraints on child page. Library. I have to add these anyway. I have to tell Wagtail what the allowed sort of content hierarchy is and where the event falls within that. I believe events will have their own index page. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's events index page. I'll come back to these parent page types and subpage types in a minute. The home model. What's a good one? Magazine index page. I could follow suit from that. Go ahead and commit these then. Damn it. Models should be plural, singular. Let me see here. Okay, so I have to roll back that migration. I think if I do this, I'm gonna create the migrations again. I gotta think about how to do this without like killing my database. Huh, damn it. What if I do this? Oh yeah, it didn't run those migrations before, did it? What do we get here? Okay, thankfully I had not added the event app, so it didn't pick that up. I'm not sure what else it was migrating over there. I didn't read that too closely there. I changed the ordering of contact. Let's go ahead and commit that. Go to our settings, our main project settings. And add events. This is where I think I've already messed up a little bit. This should be plural. Okay, whatever. I need to import the rich text field. Wagtail core fields, rich text field. And of course, we need to import the daytime field. Oh, just not firing all cylinders in general in life. Oops, daytime field is just the model's daytime field. All right, looking good. So let's just take a look at the code changes here. So app names are plural, model name singular. Okay, so now we need to get this thing to show up in the user interface. I think I can fix the bot real quick. I remembered one thing, so just bear with me for just a second. Just need to change one configuration setting. It looks like the OAuth token. Oh, damn. May have been invalidated. It's trying too many things at once. Escape code. Generated too many OAuth tokens. Yep. Cool beans. I better not to tell you now. All right, yeah, I'd like for that to work. I hope it just works out of the box. I'm trying to get this bot set up to have a little more interactivity on the stream. And there's a Twitch highlighter extension for VS Code I'm trying to get to work as well. So the stream viewers can actually highlight lines of code if there's questions or comments. I should also add the AMA label to the website. How did you do that? Ask me anything, because I don't mind having little deviations. Oops. Ask me anything. Cool. Make it interactive. Okay, cool. So we got our table set up. Grab a little, just a sip of tea. Now I'd like to just be able to add an event. So I need to just say, where can this be added? There it is, home. Oh, and it worked. Yes. One thing I just remembered is this has a toggleable from to. I'll keep it simple and go with what we've got right now. And try to get some feedback. Oops. Alright, so it looks like the events can just be added anywhere. So, before I migrate, or before I add this constraint, I should clean that data. That's nice. wish that this default view would give that. Maybe it does if I add a parameter, but essentially what you can do is create these custom listings for content types. So they call it admin manager, that you specify the titles and some searching and filtering criteria. And we have a sort of a hierarchical data model. And so for content, for contacts, events not so much, but if I go to this home page, the community is hierarchical. Let's see, oh, it does here. I might just say let's use this default view, but we lose the filtering and searching capability, so we'll have to balance that. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off the beaten path. What we're going to do here is add a menu item for the events, and then a page listing to display all the events. So I think we'll start with the menu item. And for that I can just look at the contacts, and I'll do the copy and paste here. It's a little faster. But I'll read it closely. And so you create this wagtail hooks. These claps and stuff. Wagtail hooks. .py. And I believe the file name is here, just a convention. And let's take a look at it full screen. So, what do we need from here? We need to import the model admin and model admin register. I think these were needed for some JavaScript I added to the UI last time, but we're not going to get this, not to say clever, but we don't need to embed any JavaScript in this, so I think most of it is just you define your model admin, set some properties, and register it. So this I will copy and paste just to make it a little quicker. And so this is event, model admin, model event. And so you want to import your event. And let's see if that's a default one. It's a guess. Alright, so essentially search fields are what populates, or what are used by this dropdown. This list filter gives you an automatic filtering UI. Now this is based on and similar to the Django admin. The difference being the Django admin is not for end users, it's for like a very small subset of users, administrative users. This user interface is for a small subset of users, but more content-oriented day-to-day users. So that's one of the main things I think Wagtail brings to Django is this really nice editing experience. So let's go ahead and refresh this and see if that registered. Okay, so no, it didn't register. No event in module, events models. Alright, now this should be capitalized, I believe. break everything? Yeah, so good. The class name is not so important from a migration standpoint. Okay, so there we got an event. It doesn't have an icon, so that calendar event's not there by default. I can take a quick look. I've had troubles with this in the past. Stream field icons. Man, I don't even remember where I found these the last time. Basically, here's what I want though. So it's in the style guide. Let's see, is that running? I think I have that settings. Style guide. Icons, yes. Alright, good. Alright, I forgot all about that. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool thing about Wagtail. So it gives you the ability to create a style guide based on the admin styles, and I think you can override it with your site styles for designer and content owner. So basically, let's take a look. There's a calendar one. There's a table. That might be good. Spinner would get nice and annoying. Out of date. Here we go. So this is the event model. New icon. Dang. Oh, what's going on? And if I refresh the page, there we go. Now it's gonna a nice icon. We can change the ordering of these. Oh, look at this. An event test this month. Today. Wow, any date. Add event. This is a little bit annoying. When you add event, you have to choose a parent because it's a hierarchical page model. I'm not sure how to. When you get like hundreds and hundreds of events or whatever, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this list, if it's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. I opened a support request about that. But in any case, I do need to figure out where these events should reside. Yes, delete it. So I'm going to commit these changes. Wow, it's simple and understandable. What's going on in the code? Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. A little bit better. Alright, so to build a basic listing, listing page in this vein. I think we're done with the content modeling part, so let's just get to the layout, templating part. Actually, quick aside, I've been working with the Meteor.js project for several years, and generally the framework Meteor.js. And a lot of times I would take an approach where I would start in the client and mock up a template and get things looking as I expected, and work my way into the data model. And that's actually been a pretty cool experience because you get real quick results. You can kind of simulate the data and user interaction, get quick feedback from other people. But this approach, more or less, you have to start more abstractly, figuring out the data model, then how to get it into an editor, UI, and then work to the templates. So I find the outside-in approach is a little more like kind of user-focused. I want to see if I can maybe adopt sort of that workflow with Django Wagtail. But anyway, again, I'm learning the ropes. So we do have a listing page for magazine index. So let's take a look at that. Magazine index. Essentially, this is kind of dummy data, so pardon the screenshot, but it effectively lists magazine issues, and each issue lists articles and has a cover image. I didn't have a cover image handy, so I just used a screenshot from a bug report I was filing the other day. So the events, I think, will be a similar deal. The events page may appear in the menu. So if we go to magazine templates, and I don't remember if I needed it to. Hey there, City of Crowbars, welcome to the chat. I'm hosting like a kind of AMA chat, Ask Me Anything style chat, so feel free if you got any questions or comments. What kind of projects are you working on in your spare time? Alright, so the only view I had to define here is the department detail. I think Wagtail is going to do most of the URLs and views for me, and just expect me to define a template, and it'll wire all that stuff up. I'll wire all that stuff together for me, excuse me. So yes, I had to create a model, magazine index page model, and then a magazine index template. Oh yeah, City of Crowbars. I remember I saw you last night in the live stream with the game development. I forget their name, the channel name. They were doing working with the GIMP. I think Inkscape, a bunch of open source stuff, and channel name is the game name. I'd like to mention it because it was pretty cool. Very informative stream, very social stream. I might be able to look it up over here in Twitch. Where is it? I don't even see it. Darn it. Well, okay, let's get back. Focus on the work. I'm just learning how Twitch works. There's quite a lot to it. A lot of nuance to get a good stream up and running. I just introduced a chat bot on the server. It's open source. It's called Phantom Bot. It has several commands if you want to try out things like project. I'm not sure what all the commands are, but it's there. Okay, so what we have to do is define this magazine index page. We need to create a one-off page that's going to list all of the events. So it would be called an events index page. So we can close this. I'll leave these two up for reference. I'll do more copy and paste style coding to accelerate the development. So we've got an event. Now we want the event index page. It'll have an intro with editable field. The subpage type should be event. Oh yeah. Thanks, City of Crowbars. So the custom commands: uptime, follow age, playtime, title, game, age, and project. Huh. Okay. So basically, these index pages should only have one instance. So that's what this max count was. Brief aside, I opened a support request in Wagtail. I was like, hey, how do I limit the number of instances, of a particular model class, page model class? And there wasn't really a straightforward way, but it got implemented and included in the next release. And more or less, my experience with the Wagtail developers has been very forthcoming, constructive, and in times they've had to tell me, well, that's not really how Wagtail is designed. It's kind of against the design philosophy of Wagtail, so we're gonna have to say no. But here's why. They've given me a really clear explanation of why, and pointing me to the Zen of Wagtail in that instance, which is kind of nice too. So it's really nice to be involved in working on a project that has that, I think, good of a community ethos. And essentially the Zen part, I was asking for more or less a user interface approach. I'm familiar with Drupal, coming from Drupal, and a lot of it you can do through the UI, but they're saying the best interface for a programmer is a programming language. So that's where I am, and I don't mind, programming it. That's why I'm here. All right, cool. So there's the events models. I've got an event index page. Let's just take a little bit of a look. I think I just have to add the events to the context, because by default that page context is only going to have essentially the index page, so it'll have an instance of this model. Self or not. First argument is self. Request args quargs. So yeah, just want to pop in these parameters. Okay, what do we do? To get to context. Get the context, return to context. Hey, Cryan123, welcome to the stream. I'm trying to stream at least once a week, a couple of times, mainly on the weekends, but I've been doing a few weekday streams lately. Depends on how tired I am after work. Yeah, I'm mainly doing kind of just for what's worth, mainly doing Python, Django, and a little bit of Meteor JavaScript. I got two main projects I'm working on. One is a data visualization and well-being oriented app for elderly caregivers of elderly people in these assisted living communities. And this is a magazine website for this Quaker publication in the Western United States. We're implementing the website, migrating it from Drupal to Django. But in my work, I do a lot with Python on a daily basis, so I could include some streams on like data visualization, a little bit of machine learning, stuff like that, if there's interest. Okay, so we want to add these events. Essentially, the events have, I'm going to set this sort by to the date, so that's a good one. Date in descending order. What is that? Order by order. Where did I set the order? Model meta. I set the model meta on the community page. I think it was this. Yeah, this one I was doing this sort. Just I don't remember most of this stuff off the top of my head. I haven't been doing it very much. The Django, Python, Wagtail combo. So yeah. Okay, cool. So hey, thanks for stopping in, City of Crowbars. Good to see you around. Have a good day. Alright, so let's see actually the contact is these are technically contacts. So I specified the order in the contact model meta ordering. Cool. So don't need the community page, perhaps. I'm done with that. I'm gonna leave this up for a minute. I think I might use this paginator. That's cool. Very cool. Until we decide like if we want a calendar model or something like that. So anything I can close here. So events, meta, ordering. Oh, jeez. I think you just put a minus sign in front of it if you want it in descending order. Oh no, a tuple, of course. I don't know if there's a benefit of having it as a tuple or versus a list. Tuples are orderable. Okay, so there we go. That means when I get, by default, a query set of all of the events, it'll be ordered for me. I don't have to add that to my query. Okay, so contact. Anything else? I'm not going to override the save method, and I'm already doing the get context. Search fields might be good to implement. Parent page type, sub page types. Let me just grab these so I can close this model out. Contact, and come over to the event model. Any kind of properties I will do above these classes and methods. Search field, I would like to include the description, partial match. I think by default the title is going to be in their website. I don't think we need to include in our search index. Parent page type will be event index page, I believe. So this is how you constrain your data model. You enforce particular hierarchy of content types. Subpage type. I don't think we should have any subpage types of events. It should be like a big flat. Index is not. Oh damn. Excuse me. Forgot to import that. Wagtail search. From Wagtail search. Import index. I mean, Wagtail comes with a lot of batteries included, a lot out of the box, and so does Django. So it's really nice to be working in such a rich environment. You know, I haven't quite had that experience in JavaScript. Meteor.js has been pretty good, but I hesitate to really call it a framework. Almost, it has they've left some core components out. I think by design, like things like a router, but it didn't. Oddly enough, includes some things that are relatively sophisticated, like authentication. I think they are trying to make the developer experience pretty simple, and I appreciate that focus, which is why I'm looking, for example, to Django or front-end framework like Vue.js that has that as part of one of the core principles of developer simplicity or developer experience. But yeah, to be a fully fledged framework, there's some things you gotta include. And routing is more or less. I don't know if they were expecting the front end framework maybe to handle the routing or not. Maybe that was one of the decisions. But early in Meteor history, these two competing routers emerged, and both of them have like varying degrees of maintenance. And I think that's why you should have an official support for a router, so you don't leave like the community in a fragmented state with like these half-baked routers that eventually get abandoned. Anyway, slight digression. Alright, so we're going to event index page. We'll have to create one instance of this in a minute, and it can have events underneath it. So we just needed to make sure that that goes both ways. So the parent of this is an event index, and the child of this is an event. Otherwise, we can get some. I got myself confused a while back when I forgot to do both of those. Alright, and you can notice black is auto formatting for me. I've got Python black installed here. So I need to populate my context. So do event. Let's just start with that and see what it looks like. And I'll put a paginator in a minute. But now we should have this context events. So we're going to need this template. Makes the index page. This is really big. But I'm going to grab it for the base structure, and I'll delete all the internal stuff. So we got our event. That's community. Create a templates folder. And this underscore basically follows the there we go. Events index page. So we need to be able to display something. The template name, Wagtail does the wiring for you behind the scenes. As long as you follow certain conventions, it makes your work a little bit easier. Event index page, so we'll paste all this in. I think I'll follow more of the design from, what did we do over here? I'll follow this design. Okay. Let's see if it works. How do we get here then? It's going to create our slug for us. That's how. So think for one moment. So, oh, that's a problem. Oh yeah, this is a view, so I don't have really an edit here because it's not. There's nothing to be edited, I suppose. I'll have to think about that if we want to have an intro text or something. In any case, I'd like to have just a quick link to the Wagtail admin. So that's kind of annoying that it's not consistent across the site. Alright, so what we're going to do is create a new page. I think you have to add it over this. As a child of this. It's my site. And notice it's automatically, it knows that I'm going to add an event index page because I've basically, that's the only remaining type of page I can add underneath here. And now there's no remaining page types, because each of these, these are index pages, and they should only have more or less one instance of an index page. And the home page is technically the home index, or whatever you'd call it. It's also the root for this site. Page Wagtail comes with a multi-site setup out of the box as well. I think a lot of this is inspired by WordPress. So it's really, if you're thinking about doing some Python Django development, I highly recommend checking out Wagtail. It's good stuff. Alright, so now we have this events, and if I view live, I believe it's going to give us an error. Now, why did that happen? Let me take a look at this. What if I... Something about the sites. I've had this problem before, and it's kind of confusing. But if I do that, yeah. It's like not registered in the site for some odd reason. I believe it's by design, and I need to learn more about how this Wagtail site thing works. Because Wagtail creates this out of the box. Okay, I think I know what to fix though, at least. These should all be underneath the home page. I should only be able to add these indexes underneath the home page. That's the thing I need to change. I hope that's not gonna, because that'll affect the URL scheme as well. Maybe it won't. Alright, so let me go ahead and fix these. So events, tags, and library models. Indexes. Yeah, if I just go to the home, I can actually add it that way. There's that. So for example, this tags, before I save, I should be able to move this underneath the home page. Whereas, now these are all accessible. If I go back here and try to move the library, index page, having not saved this yet, it doesn't let me, it's grayed out, but as soon as I save this, I believe the home will become selectable. Yeah, move that page. And then events, move it to home. And essentially, I don't want it to create really this welcome to your new Wagtail site thing at all. I should delete that right off the bat. Oof. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't know. Leave well enough alone for now. Alright, so now if I go to the front page, let's see, now if I actually just go to, what do we do? Just go to pages, events, just go to home and view this live, events page, where we're at. Now everything works. It's rendering in the home template or the base template, all that good stuff. Yeah, there's some nuance to the multi-site setup. I'm kind of rocking it a little bit more now. This intro text is displayed, and we should have some context data that I can put into the template now. So let's work through that. Anything I can commit as it stands. These changes to models, maybe. Add events index page. I'm going to group these in there with that too. Subpage. And I won't commit this yet. Just that. Oh. Alright, emit autocomplete is not working for some reason. It's kind of getting some context from Wagtail, but I think it's just because it was previously used in this template. Django HTML. Wonder if I switched it to HTML if the emit would work a little bit better. Okay, so. And let's just see if this works. If the context is there, it'll be events. And nothing happened. So I might need to get the debugger. Fire up the debugger. Is there anything I can close now? I want to leave that open so I can take a look at the pagination. This I'm pretty much done with. Let's take a look. Alright, so the get context is not working. Let's just try debugger. To be honest, it brings a little clarity. I'm not super confident in the debugger of VS Code, but let's try it out. Alright, so it's empty. Might be that there aren't any events, so let's double check that. There's not operator error, which is probably the most common form of error. Oh boy. Let's take that out of there. Restart the debugger. Stop the debugger. Good grief. Close the debugger console. We'll run the server here. Again, this is probably all operator error, but man, that debugger, I just get kind of confused. Alright, so now we have an events page, and I should be able to... That's there. That's not what I was trying to do. Home, a job page, an event. Great. I think I had deleted the event. So yeah, you can see what time it is here. 7 daytime event. Okay, now we have an event. So yeah, that's probably the deal. There are events. Cool. Let's get back over here. Squeeze that down. Close the environment out because the debugger had opened something. Skeleton. I'm not even sure what that's all about. So the context is working. I believe I can just close this home model. Paginator was done in context as well, so I'll leave it all open. I think the markup I'm going to follow is this. It's pretty clean. The paginator. Okay, yeah, it's defined as a community because it's part of the community section. Interesting. Organizations, list group. So basically, grab this whole thing. Put this div outside, indent it, the closing div. Here. And iterators, they're in for. So let's just do a search and replace. But just in this scope here. So I'm using consistent field values, so it makes it a little easier. This will be the title. Let's see if this just breaks it. This should be rich text. Pipe to the rich text field, or filter. the whole thing is clickable. Great. Except it's all blue. I'll have to format this. Let's just see how it comes out by default. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. Just the whole thing's blue. Well, it basically works. So I don't want to get too bogged down with with design here. Kind of mainly structure and functionality. But it does look kind of like crap, to be honest. So, anybody in chat have a suggestion or a design idea for how these events will be displayed? I'll be glad to hear it. Let me see if I'll add a couple more. This is nice because I can add an event right off the bat. This is super cool. Like that Omega Isaac 88. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. And this one will be a little bit, let's see, what was the event date for the other one? And let's just do this. Push. And view. Oh, okay, and I need the event template. Alright. You know, I think that calendar is going to be the greatest thing here. Let's see. So we've got yeah, actually this is correct. The upcoming events, we should really be displaying upcoming events, I think. In order, so this ordering is correct. The blue text I'll worry about later. We'll go ahead and commit these changes real quick because it is a basic event template. Listing and fairness. Looks like crap. Let me just work for a moment with the context data. And for some reason my ordering didn't take effect. Yeah, should have just worked. So there's a quick recipe on Stack Overflow for getting, or even Wagtail has one, I think, getting upcoming. Let me think here for a second. So we're going to need to filter by that date field, greater than now. I think... Yeah, GT now. It's from 2012, but maybe a more elegant way to do it. I shouldn't have to do this order by, but in any case. Now let's go ahead and add another example here, one in the past though. Isaac, are you working on any project? What would you do in your with your development time? Oh, they're adding in the order they were added. Excuse me, they're sorting in the order they were added. That is not correct. It's not the way it's supposed to happen. We have to migrate that. And in that case, I want the ordering to be ascending instead of descending. By date. Made options too. Yeah, that's right. Better migrate it. Run the server. Right. That's correct though. Let me think. May 30th, 31st, May 1st. No, it's not. Not happening. Alright, well I'm not gonna wrestle with it. I can do it in the query. I just thought it would be convenient. So here, what do we have? Filter. Let's try that. Date. Ouch. Q is not defined. JDB model support Q. This has changed though. Maybe not. Alright, so just want to make sure I got my import correct. And I think this should work. Or even this is fine, date, time, date, today. And I don't know if it's not going to be Python 3. Gosh. Oops. All right, welcome to the chat. New viewers, this is an AMA chat. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm glad to discuss any kind of development topics. Why is this not working from daytime import? What? Oh, dang it. Yeah. That should work. There's also a few chatbot commands you can run here. I'm working on adding more. I just got the chatbot set up, so let me know if there's something that would be useful to add. And I'm working on getting this Twitch highlighter extension working, but I got an open bug report. So close this terminal. No module. Daytime is not a package. What do you mean? What? This is weird. It's right there. I have data is just a class. So Death Ashman says I have to do from date time import date. Oh, okay. I can use date today because it's a method. There we go. All right, thanks, Ashman. Appreciate it. Sometimes I couldn't get by without chat, for sure. Okay, so that's working now. Okay, and any people who have like an eye for design in the house and a little bit of experience with Bootstrap, I'd appreciate any suggestions about how I can make this look a little bit nicer. Basically, I want each of these to, if possible, be a link without having to click maybe the text. Like just anywhere in the box should be fine and link to the related event page, but I don't know. Okay, cool. So now we got dates. Upcoming events, but if I add one, I think it's still ordering wrong, even though they're in the correct order here. If I add one, May 30th at 8 p.m. If I view, again, the events page, closing out of this tab, the in-between is appearing at the end, so I need to order them by, I need to change the ordering. Order by date. I'm kind of bummed out that that didn't work. The default ordering on the class, that is, it should have worked. And I'm kind of concerned that if it didn't work on the class, why is it going to work here? Let's try it out. Works there. Okay, that's fine. As long as it works. Take these as 2 commits. I don't know if I can pin that commit. Darn it. Keep my commits a little bit clean. Okay, I'm getting myself nice and confused again. Let's just put them together. Screw it. Actually, that's the one. Okay, looks good. We might have a past event, I'm not sure. We'll have to work it out. Just seeing if there's any other helpers I can add on the list group. This might be nice, a little bit of alignment of the date. Yeah, and see how it's not, everything's not blue here, so that's kind of interesting. Oops. Yeah, I don't know if I need this margin bottom, if there's not going to be anything below it. Yeah, that looks a lot better already. That's a nice one. Little things of link. Alright, cool. So essentially, if it doesn't have an event website, I'll just use a div without the href. create one without a website. And put it at the top of the list. View live, even without website doesn't work. The other ones do. I don't know if that's obvious. That's a clickable link. I hope so. Alright, well it's actually looking pretty good. I'll commit that. I'll give the pagination a little bit of a try. Where are we at? What's the marker? We've been broadcasting almost 2 hours. Okay. Let's see if we can hold out just a little bit longer. Get some basic pagination in place. I don't know if I should fight that tonight. I don't know if it'll be a fight. Alrighty then. Let me just read. So this is good. Some things. Okay, I don't need 2 of these open. Now if I do take a quick look, done with this. Close that. The home model. Where do we do the pagination magazine? So first we need to import. It's a Django thing, I believe. Core paginator. Let's give it a try. Models, events. Okay, so it's essentially you're just attaching a paginated list. To the context. It looks like it's going to use this. URL argument from the query string. So we'll take a look at that. Defaults to the first page or last page. Interesting. All right, let's go for it. Events. How will I interact with the query I just constructed? Yeah, so you pass it in. Yeah, no problem. The upcoming events is this. We initialize a paginator with that. We'll set it to 10. So that's where this is defined. I don't know how to do multi-cursor in VS Code. I think it has multi-cursor support. Alt, start clicking different places. Command Alt down. Command Alt down. Well, that worked, but that's... Control D. Control D, there we go. Nice. It's really nice. Alright, so then we need to take a look at the template. And this is on the magazine index page because this is the showing the archived articles of the magazine and archived issues of the magazine. Alright, cool, got my context, I believe. Yes. So it's essentially this is going to remain, but we add a paginator at the bottom of the page. Or at the bottom of the list group. Well, let's go ahead and leave it maximized for a moment. That's index page. What did I call the argument? Why don't we just call it page? How's it? Page 1 of 1. Yes, well, that's a start. It's a good start. So let's just set the threshold down to 3 so I don't have to add a bunch of dummy content. Yeah, looks bad, but it works. So I am going to take just a moment, and I believe if I space this out, I like this to be centered and the buttons to be spaced left and right. I don't even know enough about. And a little bit of margin top there, so it's not pushed right up against the list. So it doesn't look like utter crap. Margin top. 3. Step links, I don't know what this is. Am I editing? Events of index page, yeah? That should have had an effect. Oof, yeah, there it goes. Just a little bit of spacing is good enough. Now I have this bootstrap spacer classes. What can we do here? Spacing. Or let's see, bootstrap, if I pull right, maybe that will work. And maybe it's as simple as float right, float left. Bootstrap horizontal line center. This is it. Alright. Jeez. This is horrible UX right there. I'm kind of annoyed how the web is just turning into kind of a garbage bin on a lot of these sites. But since I used to say text center here. Oops. On this parent div, maybe that'll work. Page 1 or 2. Nice. I'm not a designer. But that's okay looking. Alright, good. I think we got pagination working. It's not too bad. It doesn't jump around, so I don't have to, in other words, we don't have to scroll down to get to this, then expect the page to jump around. Because basically it's reloading the page, the entire page. It's not a responsive or reactive framework, so to speak, where it streams the data in and populates just the DOM. That changed. Go ahead and commit this. That was a simple change, honestly. Text center. That's about as sophisticated as I like to get with the design and layout. We don't have a designer on this project, but we may have some help with that later. At the very least, the editor will come in and kind of say, I would like this layout, or more spacing here or less there. There's a way I can remove some of that spacing here. What is this? It's just a paragraph. Change that to span. Will it tighten that up a little bit? Or will it make it in line? Let's find out. Yeah, a little bit. Just do that on both of them. Nice. Yeah, and here's a case again where I need to reuse this because a little bit of redundancy, and the only thing that's really changing is this. They're not an anchor. Okay, very cool. 24, 30, 39. Man, it looks good. Looks good. Alright, well this has been another episode of Let's Build a Website from Scratch with Python, Django, and the Wagtail CMS. I appreciate everybody who's joined me today, particularly Death Ashman for helping me get through a little bit of troubleshooting there. City of Crowbars, it was nice to see you again. I've met City of Crowbars in another stream. Crying, thanks for participating in the chat. Crying and Johnny Don't Want to Go to School, thank you both for the subscribe. Hope to see you around. Or the follow, pardon me. Thanks for the follow. Hope to see you both around in the chat on another occasion. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd gladly respond to any questions or comments you post below the video. Try to do it in a timely manner. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.